Hi, this is Rabbi Chaim Kaufman. Welcome to our 149th installment in the Torah portion of the week. We are starting with Parshas Bereishis, the first parsha in the Torah. We just finished Simchas Torah, so we finished the entire Torah. We ended with the book of Deuteronomy. Now again, we start relearning, start from the beginning, right? No pun intended. From in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. All right, so go back to creation. Right, speaks about, right, the part speaks about creation, right, that we sort of mentioned. Also speaks about Adam and Eve, and they ate from the tree, right, speaks about Shabbos, etc. It speaks about the serpent, the snake, and Cain and Abel, right, there's a lot here, right, there's a lot here. But a lot of people bothered by the story with the snake. Right, and who exactly was the snake? So we understand the snake was Mr. S, Mr. Satan, the angel of death, the evil inclination, whatever you want to call him. So we know, right? We know who he was. And the snake was on 2 feet, was a great helper to man, as the Talmud tells us. And the snake speaks to Eve. Now, they'll question exactly, how that manifests itself. Obviously, might have to explain it Kabbalistically exactly what's going on here. But the snake speaks to Eve, convinces Eve to eat from the tree. Now, the Medrash says that God said, don't eat from the tree. So Eve added on, and when the snake confronts her, she says, God said, don't eat from the tree, and don't touch it. Now, obviously it's forbidden to add on to the commandments of what God said. Right, we mentioned many times the rabbis don't come and add because you're not allowed to add and subtract, even though we learn it later. We don't necessarily learn it out from Eve, but we learn it later as an explicit verse. But the rabbis come in order to safeguard, right? To safeguard the Torah, to make sure that we don't transgress worse things, right? So putting the safeguard around the Torah does not mean we're adding, right? We're adding or subtracting. To make clear, adding to the Torah means I add an extra tzitzis to my cloak, to my 4-cornered garment, or I add an extra compartment in tefillin, right? That's adding to the Torah, or subtracting, right? If I take away one of the tzitzis, one of the compartments, that's subtracting. But putting a fence around the Torah to make sure you don't transgress something worse, that's not adding or subtracting, right? You're not coming to add or subtract. So Eve tells him, or tells the snake, God said not only to eat from it, but you're not allowed to touch it. So what does the snake do? So the Medrash says the snake pushes Eve into the tree. Now he pushes Eve into the tree, and she now does not die. I didn't really understand what death was, doesn't really matter. Right, but God said you touch the tree, according to Eve, you're going to die. So the snake says, see, you didn't die. You touched the tree, but you didn't die. So Eve understood, okay, so I'm not going to die from that. Who says I'm going to die from eating from it? All right, she made a mistake. She brings death to the world. It's pretty serious. What she did. But the Torah then says, chapter 3, verse 18, that first of all, we know the snake gets punished. Right, what happens to the snake? Torah tells us, chapter 3, verse 14, God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you beyond all the cattle, all the beasts of the field. Upon your belly you shall go. Had legs, got cut off. Now you're going to go in your belly. Thus shall you eat all the days of your life. Right? That's what the Torah says. So, the Torah, first of all, punishing the snake. Right? The snake has to be punished. So what's the snake's punishment? It's going to eat thistles. It's going to eat dirt. But the commentaries ask, how can that be a curse? How can that be a curse if the snake always has food? Snake always has what he needs. So how can it be a curse? Right, so comes along, Mori Rebbe. Rav Gon Moshe Shlita should be well. Brings down in Chochmah V'das, and he says, he asks this question: what kind of curse is this? Because after all, if the snake has food at all times, doesn't seem like such a curse. For man, what's the curse? For man, the curse is he's going to have to work by the sweat of his brow. He's going to have to work hard to bring in livelihood. Right? That's man's curse. That's the real curse. Okay, you'll tell me some people have it easier, some people have it harder. But essentially, it's a curse. The snake gets everything for free. Snake doesn't have to work hard. Okay, had his legs chopped off, but doesn't have to work hard. If the snake doesn't have to work hard, what's the problem? Where is there a curse? So says Mori Rebbe, you got to keep in mind that when something comes easy, and something is easy, it is not a blessing. That if a person has trials and tribulations, we've spoken about a lot, prove the person's greatness. Like if the person has everything easy, and he's not tested, so how great are they? How great can they be if they're not tested? Right? People only become great because of what they go through, what they struggle with. So Rabbi says, I remember a yeshiva student when I was younger asked Mori Rebbe, I go on Rav Moshe Schneider, Zeicher Tzadik Levrocha, right? My Rebbe's Rebbe. Rav Moshe Schneider, as we mentioned him many times. And he wanted a blessing before his marriage, before he got married. So Rav Moshe Schneider asked him, what blessing do you want? So he answered, I want everything in life to go easy without any trials and tribulations. They want to be easy. And Rav Moshe Schneider answered him, that's not a blessing. Why, did you give you a blessing, everything should be easy? It's not a blessing. He said, I bless you that you have trials and difficulties, you'll be able to overcome them. Because that's the real blessing. All right, I added that. Right, but that's the real blessing. So somebody has it easy, and they never have to struggle, and they're always pampered. What kind of blessing is that? Wouldn't we like life to be easy? Yes. Wouldn't we like to have all our needs taken care of? Yes. Of course, it wouldn't. But in the end, you don't grow. Really, we should be on the level as we pray every day, and we say, don't bring me to nisyonos. Don't bring me to trials. Right? But you don't grow without them. So if we'd really be on the level, we shouldn't need them. But obviously we do. So here, the snake is worse than all the other animals. Right? At least all the other animals have to go looking for food. And the snake lives easily. He's got food right in front of him without any work. So as my Rebbe pointed out before, that's not called life. I think, oh, he's got an easy life, but that's not life. Doesn't struggle. So he says, we have to understand that there are people, plenty of people in this world who want to live without any yoke. be able to do what they want, come when they want, go where they want, eat what they want, wear what they want. They don't have any restrictions. They want life to go easy. No difficulty. So they may claim, as my Rebbe here points out, they may claim, well, I'll eat, I'll drink, I'll do this, I'll do that. When I have free time, I'll learn. Right? If they even do that. So if they say that, it shows they have no life. Their life isn't worth anything. Because they're not dedicating it to God. They're not learning like they should. Not making blessings like they should. They just want life to be easy. No trials. So he said that this is worse than the animals. At least the animals, the animals themselves have to find what to eat. So if you're granted everything, you're even worse than an animal. You don't have anything. You're not struggling for anything. So he says, forget about non-religious people. This affects the Torah world. This affects people sitting and learning. Why? Because essentially, a person can become lazy. A person can say, I want it easy. Okay, I sit and learn. Very good. Maybe God gave me a good head. I don't have to think so much. I don't have to work so hard. But he says it's a terrible thing. Right? You always have to strive. Some people have a weaker head. It's taka harder. Right? It's harder to learn. It's harder to grab it. It's harder to understand. Makes sense. So he says anybody wants it that easy, and he wants the cliff notes. He doesn't want to work hard. It can affect them also, and that's a negative thing. Because a person's born to strive. A person's born to grow. If you don't want to, okay, you can be lazy. But now we're in a new time, right? We're in a new year. We went through the month of Elul, right? 30 days the month of Elul. Then we had Rosh Hashanah, making God king, wanting to change our lives to be better. So maybe we got inspired by the prayers, by the singing, by the intensity of the time. Then you have 10 days of repentance. Culminates with Yom Kippur. By culminating with Yom Kippur, we feel fresh. Right after Yom Kippur, we dance, we sing, Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim. Want to live next year in Jerusalem. Sing some songs, preparation for Sukkot. Go through Sukkot. Sit in the Seil Nusa. The shade of belief in God, living in a flimsy world, as Koheles Ecclesiastes says. This is the world of Hevel. It's all vanity. Vanity of vanities. As King Solomon brings out, I looked at all the philosophies of the world, and I only saw that the Torah is true. So tremendous inspiration. Simchas Beis HaShoeva, singing, dancing, with the culmination being Simchas Torah, which for today, right, Simchas Torah outside of Israel, right, we celebrated it the day before. Tremendous time finishing the Torah, being excited we finished, only to start again. So this is a tremendously auspicious time. So I'm going to say, okay, now we're getting ready for winter. It's going to get colder. It's going to rain. This is the time when we took on things to start implementing them. Right? To take that excitement that we had and put it into the everyday. It was a much harder thing to do. So the evil inclination, Mr. S will call him, we'll let you have the greatest kavanah. We'll let you have the greatest intention while praying during Rosh Hashanah. Maybe make you shed a few tears on Yom Kippur. You really feel like you've been cleansed. You go into the sukkah. He leaves you alone, lets you sing and dance all night. Simchas Torah, unbelievable. Feels like there's another planet. And then it's after Sukkot. It's after Simchas Torah. Then Mr. S says, you're mine. Let's see. Let's see what's going to be. Let's see what you took on. Did you really mean it? Or just go back to doing the same thing you normally do? So, my Rebbe here points out as well that the Bali Musar explain the curse in the sense that, what does the snake do? The snake itself has food for its entire life. No problem. Don't have to work hard, nothing. The snake itself does not need to ask God anything, to have any connection to Him. Because God gives him what he needs at all times. Does the snake need to pray? No. I mean, animals in general don't need to pray. Right? But the snake itself for sure would have no connection to God. Even if you tell me he's programmed DNA. Doesn't matter. Right? He still wouldn't have a connection because he doesn't need God for anything. He's taken care of. All his needs are taken care of. So too, Mary brings down here from the Kli Yakar. Now the Kli Yakar says, what's the reason you're not allowed to lend ribbis to a Jew? You're not allowed to lend with interest to a Jew? Because a person, if he lends money, he wants to get something in return. In other words, if he lends him 100, I can't use that 100 right now. So what does he do? He sleeps knowing that 100 he's getting back is 150 or 120, whatever he's adding on. Because he knows he's not going to lose. He's going to lend the money in order to gain money. Right? That's the way it works. But to do such a thing, to lend to a Jew with interest, forbidden. But what should a person do? When a person's in need, you put your best foot forward. And if you're still struggling, you ask God to have compassion. That God should have pity. And He should give us our needs at all times. We shouldn't come to something forbidden. We should be able to gain on our own. We should have what we need. But God should have compassion. God can make that dry up, can make it difficult. Can certainly do that. So see an amazing thing over here. If a person's going to do something, he's going to say, let it benefit me. I'm going to lend money. My money's worth something. So if I'm going to lend it, I better get something back for it. Why should I let this person hold on to the money and I get nothing in return? Right? It's the way of the world, the Talmud says. Person lends him money. Right? He should get more back because he's lending it to him. Torah says it might be the way of the world. Or the Gemara says it might be the way of the world, but he's still not allowed to do it to a Jew. So here's interesting. It's interesting that if God gives a person all his needs, he's got health, he's got money, All his needs are taken care of. What do we say many times, says the book of Deuteronomy? That you're going to get fat off the land, meaning you're going to have money. You're going to forget me. You're going to come kick me in the head. Because you're going to think you do everything yourself. I did everything, the work of my hand. And God's out of the picture. That's the curse. Right? That is the absolute curse of the snake. Because when someone has money, when their needs are taken care of, they don't need God. They don't need to pray to Him. Because they have everything. Could be God will say, you know what? I don't want this person. I'll give him the merit for whatever mitzvah he did in this world. And that's it. He will not have any connection to me. Why? Just like the snake. I'm going to give you everything, but you're not going to have a connection to me. That is the greatest curse. Not having a connection to God. Not needing Him for anything. People say, what do I need Him for? I got everything. Right? But you look at those people's lives, they don't look such like great lives. They have other problems they need to deal with, okay? But they don't need to pray for anything. They don't see any reason for being, an observant Jew. I got everything. What do I need God for? The Rebbe points out, others echo the same thing, that having everything is a curse. It's an absolute curse. Because then, you're not tested. Then it's like the blessing the yeshiva student wanted from Ramosha Snyder. May his name be blessed. He said, I don't need it. I want everything to go easy. But that's a curse. It's not a blessing, it's a curse. So some people would say, I take my chances on that curse. But see, the Torah knows the essence of man. Right? We mentioned by King Solomon Ecclesiastes. Everything's vanity. So the more a person has, the more he wants. Right? The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, as it says in Ethics of Our Fathers, person has 100, he wants 200. He has 200, he wants 400. It's not enough. What he has, he wants more. So a person may think, if I had so much, I would do this, I would do that, do the other thing. Maybe you will. But most people won't. They'll buy things they don't need. They'll waste money. And they won't use it for what it should be needed for. True, you need to be, you need to be mafarnish your family, right? You have to have livelihood. You can't give everything away. True. But at the same time, yesh gvul, there's a limit. Right? There's a mitzvah to help others. You have to give charity, 10%. Right? If you want to give up to 20%, can't give more than that. But if God gave it to you, He gave it to you for a reason. He gave it to you to help others. And if you don't use it the right way, He can take it away just as easily. Doesn't have to give it to you. But see, what a terrible thing over here, Mary points out, is that there's a tremendous curse. That a person doesn't take spiritual responsibility. Spiritual responsibility means I have to do what the Torah says. If I'm a non-Jew, I have to keep the Noahide laws. I have to be a good, upstanding person in society. I can't lie, can't cheat. I have to keep what's universal according to the Torah. Not so easy. Certainly not so easy, but you take responsibility. Right? That's really the crux over here. You take responsibility for what you need to do. Taking responsibility means how I serve God. how I interact with others. What does the Torah demand from me? Demands greatness. Demands I strive like no tomorrow. Right? It demands a lot. There's judgment on everything we do. On every conversation. On every action. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, how you did it, what you were thinking. There's a responsibility that we have to take. Secular world, what do you mean responsibility? The only responsibility a person takes when they get caught, or they try not to get caught. What's the responsibility? True, if you don't uphold, the laws of the land, there's chaos. There's absolute chaos. It's true. What about spiritual laws? What about being a mensch? What about looking out for others, doing chesed, doing acts of loving kindness, giving charity, feeding the poor? Or you do a mitzvah that you're not even going to get a reward for. Right? By helping with a dead body, helping the dead body be buried. That you're not going to get anything from the dead person. Right? It's not like you're going to inherit anything over here. I mean, maybe you will in other ways, but in general, something like that, what do you get? It's called the chesed shel emes. What's a chesed shel emes? You do a mitzvah, you're not going to get any, you can't get any benefit. There's no benefit. What's a dead person going to give you? Nothing. Tell me, maybe it's family, forget it. You're not going to get anything. Right? That's a true mitzvah. You're not doing it for merit. You can't get any merit over here. You're not going to benefit over here. So everybody says, if you don't take responsibility now, this might be a little bit harsh. Right? You can take it the way you want. But it doesn't pull any punches. And he says, you don't take responsibility, that's not called life. That means you don't take spiritual responsibility, you are as good as dead. You're just lacking burial, but you're basically dead. That's not called life. You're worse than an animal. Right? At least an animal has a certain direction. Right? Even if it's programmed, you have no direction. You're doing whatever floats your boat. So you can say, who says the Torah is true? Who says I have to listen to God? Okay, that's a different question. Right? Let's discuss. Is the Torah true or is it not true? Are there proofs? They're not proofs. No, I'm not interested. Okay, then, there's nothing to talk about. A person like that is dead. Because they're only going after the base desires. They don't care. They don't care about anything else. I want to do what I want to do. I want to eat, I want to dress, I want to look the way I want, this, that, doesn't matter. They do what their desires tell them. And by doing so, they forfeit their life. Their life is nothing. Because they don't take on any spiritual responsibility. And that's really what the Torah is all about. Yeah, the Torah speaks about creation. Speaks about Adam and Eve. Repercussions, bam! You ate from the tree of knowledge. What's the repercussion? Death. Right? We don't believe in death. Judaism doesn't believe in death. But, because man ate from the tree, there's death. It's what there is. Repercussions. Cain and Abel. There's a discussion. Torah doesn't tell us what happened. There's a discussion. Cain kills Abel. Right? God has claims against him for doing so. Right? One of the Noahide laws, can't kill. Cain understood he did something wrong. Right? We'll make it easy. He wasn't a Jew. He's a Noahide. So if he's a Noahide, murder for him is forbidden. There are repercussions. There's a right way, there's a wrong way. Now, there may be some gray in between certain things, but the Torah makes clear, whatever you do right, good. Whatever you do wrong, it's payback. So someone says, I don't care about right and wrong. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. Laced in, laced dying. God forbid. There's no judge, no judgment. So you tell me, but this person doesn't know anything. They never looked into anything. Never read from the Bible from cover to cover. Never saw the movie. So in the end, you say, well, why should they be liable? They never knew. But they could have looked into things. There are things that are universal that God's going to hold them responsible for. Things they didn't know about, okay, they'll still be responsible at a lower level. But someone who says, I don't care, and I want everything now, and I want life to be easy, no yoke, no reward and punishment, no striving, no nothing. I'm just going to live, eat, drink, and be merry lest tomorrow I die. Yeah, I have to work to make money, this, that. But okay, made a lot of money. Very successful. Waste of life. Total waste of life. Because you didn't get the message. Right? The Torah says when God puts man in the Garden of Eden, the Torah says, I want you to guard it. Guarding it could mean take care of it. Water it. Do things, you're going to take care of it. Right, but man did not pray yet. No rain. Okay. So, homiletically, we can say Adam Arishon, first man is in the garden to guard himself. Not just guard the physical garden. The garden didn't need to be guarded. It's taken care of by God himself. Like, well, what's man going to do? Like, whole little bit's going to take care of it? Seemingly, God took care of it himself. If God takes care of it himself, can't be that he means to guard it. There's something deeper going on. So the Bali Muslims say, when God told Adam to guard it, he meant guard himself. Guard himself against transgression. Guard himself against things that are going to take him away from him. Meaning from serving God. That's what it means. Guard yourself. The way the Torah wants you to. Right? There's an obligation to serve. There's an obligation to have that yoke. It's a heavy yoke. Make no mistake, there's a lot to do. And we get thrown around. And life is difficult, as someone would say. Just like the snake. Someone would say, you know what? I want it to be a little bit easier. I don't have to have a free ride. But I suffer so much, go through so much difficulty, whatever it is, let it be a drop easier. Let me be able to serve you better. Right, but God says if I take my foot off the gas pedal, you're not going to serve me. You're not going to do what you need to do. You're going to be lazy. You're going to eat off the fat of the land. You're going to kick me in the head. You're going to give me the finger. Because I don't need you. So you look at Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov wants to have a little bit easier in this world. Look at his life. Look what he went through. Fight with his brother Esav. He had Lavan. He had his wives. Rachel dies young. Yosef. He had a lot of trials in his life. So what's the problem asking, to be a little bit easier. What do you think? He's going to put his feet up and drink a pina colada? I don't think so. What it means is they want to be able to serve God at a higher level. But for goodness sakes, take away some of the problems. God says, but you wouldn't be the same person. You wouldn't have grown the way you grew if you didn't have it. It's not about sipping pina coladas and making life easy. Life isn't life. Or let's say better, that life isn't life. It's about what you use it for. It's about doing the right thing in the way the Torah wants. Not in my own mind. What I think the mitzvah means this. I think the mitzvah means that. How do you know what it means? We have an oral tradition tell you what it means. How do you know what it means? You don't. You're putting your own ideas into the Torah. Oh, isn't that what the rabbis did? Oh. Back to oral tradition. So we've spoken a lot about that. But this is a world, and God understands, where people 100% do not want to take responsibility unless their hand is like stuck in the cookie jar. And then they'll come up with 10 different reasons why it was permissible to have their hand in the cookie jar. Nobody wants to take responsibility. It's all about Hollywood. It's all about entertainment, sports, fame. It's all about all these things. Comes along Ecclesiastes. Says King Solomon, this world's full of evil. It's all vanity. It's all make-believe. The real thing, as he says in the conclusion of Koheles, the real thing is Torah. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else, fantasy. Everything else, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's not real. Right? Something real is when I have to work and sweat for it. Right? Everyone will tell you if you worked hard for something and you got it, it's a lot more meaningful than if you had it handed to you on a platter. You're going to say, well, it would have been easier if it was handed to me. You're right. Life's not about being easy. Life's about accomplishment. It's about doing things even when they're hard. Right? Even if people do things against us, give us a hard time, can't just trash them. Can't just vent. Lashon hara. If they're true evil, maybe it doesn't apply in other things, okay. But you gotta work on that. You can't just say what you want when you want. You're gonna say, but this person is X, Y, and Z. This person's really bad. You're right. A lot of bad people out there. You can't trash them for no reason. Someone can help you in the process. Deal with certain feelings, whatever, okay. Right, then you have to get, to what the essence of the problem is. So the person listening has to be careful what they listen to. And how they digest it and how they look at it, whatever. But if you didn't have any claims against this person, again, doesn't mean the person do, bad things. And that they're not corrupt and everything else. Doesn't it make it a lot harder not to speak badly against them? Yes, it does. Is that part of the trial? You better believe it's part of the trial. I can say in my own personal life, this person stole all my money. I could say things left and right if I wanted to. He was this, he was that, he's done this, he's done that. No remorse, no regret. Can't say what he's doing now. No one ever believe it. Could easily have done that over the years. With no purpose in it. Because I was really on the level, and if we were all on the level, the Chava said you be whistling Dixie did it to you. Why should I be whistling Dixie? because you understand God's throwing you something here. Or throwing you around and doing these things. This person's just a stick. Right? He's just a stick. The stick with the dog goes after the stick. You go after the stick, you make the mistake. Who's wielding the stick? Yeah, someone comes along, steals your money. Is he liable? Yeah, he's liable. He's the messenger. Obviously, God wanted you to lose it. But the Torah philosophy is he's the messenger. So what are you going to sit there and say, oh, woe is me, he did this, he did that? Yeah, he might have ruined your life, true. And he'll pay a price, hopefully, in this world. Certainly pay in the next. But it isn't the proper Torah hashkafa. That the Torah philosophy is brought down by the Chovos Levavos. As he says in Duties of the Heart and Shar B'tachon, in the Gate of Faith, chapter 4, what does he say? Don't go after the stick. You run after the stick, it's a mistake. You call him out, it's a mistake. He's guilty, 100%. Pay in this world and in the next, 100%. Well, if he pays in this world, whatever. Certainly pay in the next. That's for sure. But in the end, he's just a messenger. Right? So you could say, okay, someone had a lot of money. Person wasn't using it properly or whatever reason. God's okay. I'm going to take it away. You can take it away in many different ways. Bad investment. You can use it sporadically. Waste it. You can have it stolen. I heard a story of somebody. Somebody got, I shouldn't laugh. It's not, it's not funny, but, somebody, started a business, brought in a partner, the partner cheated him out of the business. Got left with nothing. I had to start again. Certainly tragic. He built something up and then God knocked him down. So he could be yelling at his partner and suing him and this and that, 100%, the guy's guilty. But he has to remember who put him there. He has to remember who's pulling the strings. So if it's all easy, we don't have any trials and tribulations, you don't grow. Right? That we've said. But my Rebbe here takes it to another level. Not only don't you grow, you don't have a life. Because everything's handed to you. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to take responsibility. I can do whatever I want. Fame! I can do whatever I want, eat what I want, talk with who I want, say what I want. Oh, you're limited. I can do what I want. Fine. You're not a human being. You're worse than an animal. Right? That's what he says. You are definitely worse than an animal. Because here you got everything. You're given everything. So you don't have to work hard for nothing. Could be you worked hard. You build your empire, this, that. Fine. But in the end, God gave it to you. Right? He's the one pulling the strings. If he didn't want you to have it, you wouldn't have it. But now you have everything. What do? You spit in God's face. Say, I did it myself. So now I want it to be easy. Want it, easier for my kids. That's the wrong attitude. Right? Kids have to work. They have to struggle. Because if you don't struggle, this is going to happen. All right? Your life is not called life. Where do we learn it out from? This is the message that you learn out from the snake. So to remind everyone, I have 2 question and answer sessions. Get back on track, hopefully, shortly. They are every Tuesday and Thursday. 10 o'clock in the morning, New York time, which is 5 o'clock Israel time. I have a class on Duties of the Heart, Shar B'tachon. We're now discussing why the Torah or the prophets or the writings do not speak about Olam Haba, speak about the next world. That's every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock New York time. I also have a class in the book of Leviticus every Sunday, 9 o'clock New York time. And I have conversion classes, right, twice a week, right? One's on Sunday, one's on Thursday night. Anyone interested in any of these classes, right, you can contact me at rabbichaimkoffman@gmail.com, RABBICHAIMCOFFMAN @gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook. Find me Beyond Orthodox Conversion to Judaism. So I'm going to wish everyone a great Shabbos.